Hi guys, this is Ashin Susubramaniam from MBAyogaGuru. So we have done lots of podcasts, and out of which one of the most sensational comments we have received so far was, "Why do you guys always connect management with spiritual podcast?" And there were also comments like, Why don't you remove yoga from MBAyogaGuru?" So I know many would be confused by connecting management in our spiritual podcast. Why don't we get it answered by Prof. VKJ right here, right now?
Prof. KJ with you. Thank you, Ashwin. Why mix management, spiritualism, yoga? What is this MBA doing over here? Let me clarify. MBA, mind, body, alert. But let me ask a few questions. Don't you guys enjoy fusion music? Haven't you seen a fusion dance? Okay. When you, when you get Kellogg's, weren't there Kellogg's rice flakes? Rice with Kellogg's? Okay. I think you got the answer. Okay. When you can have combos, when you can have different combos, why not try this? Actually, I got this idea when I was associated with the Maharishi University, where they do advocate, the management principles and concept, but they have another concept called as the science of creative intelligence, where Vedic knowledge is also brought in. And of course, there are other schools of thought also which integrate the two. Now, having said this, let's look at the similarity. Now, I spoke from the differences part. This is different, that is different. But I would fail my duty if I don't show you the similarity. Actually, there's a huge similarity between philosophy or spiritualism. Like some of the management gurus says, you're spiritual or you talk philosophy, that means it's an escapism. It's not an escapism. Okay? One who's spiritual or goes into philosophy is not a coward, but he's actually a very brave guy. Okay? The ability or guts to relinquish things. And this is like a story between what happened to Ramakrishna Paramahansa, when a very great businessman, a merchant, he was very wealthy, he came to meet Ramakrishna Paramahansa, and he said, "You are a great saint, you are a great person," said the businessman. And Paramahansa said, No, you are even greater than me," he said. "How come?" The businessman said, "How come I am greater than you?" "Yeah, you are greater than me," said Paramahansa. "How is that?" See, in order to select something, you have to let go something. You sacrifice something. So, what you have done, he told the businessman, you have let go God, or you have let go that spiritual side, the religious side, or whatever it is, and you have chosen wealth accumulation. You have chosen business. Right? So, what have you let go? You have let go even the thought of God. So, which is big, if you have a taras. But whereas what I have done, I have only let go material wealth and material other aspects, and I have selected that. So actually, I am a more selfish person, said Paramahansa.
Sir, while you were mentioning the story about Ramakrishna and a wealthy person, the very fact that he is sitting in front of Ramakrishna, doesn't it make he is taking efforts to reach God?
Okay, which means that story has a twist.
Yeah.
Okay. Now he is reaching God, but what is he going to do next? After meeting Ramakrishna Paramahansa, he's not going to stay with Ramakrishna Paramahansa and let go his business, his wealth. He's going to go back to his business. He's not handed over his business and come to Ramakrishna mission and surrendered over there. He has not become a monk. He has not become a recluse. He is going to go back. So he has come to briefly visit. Just like how some gurus, they briefly visit the Taj Mahal. They go to a world tour. They go to a wealthy man's house. They go to a temple.
Yeah.
So a monk also goes and visits the materialistic world, but then comes back to their monk life of, meditation, yoga, worship, prayer, the godly life. Okay. Same way, a wealthy person also visits the temple, but doesn't stay back into the temple. That means finally what you choose.
But is it necessary to stay back in the temple itself? Because MBAyogaGuru focuses on balancing both spiritual, personal and professional life. So why can't we have it as
okay? Very good. I'll give full points to you. Yes, it is possible. It is possible to live in a wealthy, comfortable, luxurious world, yet have the godly features, godliness or the hand of God guiding you, yet having spiritualism within you. Or if you are an atheist, forget God, you can still be a very good person, being an atheist also. You don't have to be, just because you're wealthy and enjoying a lot of luxury and comfort, doesn't mean to say you are otherwise, you're on the wrong path. No, it's not there. These two can be combined, and that was proven by Buddha when his wife asked Buddha, now you're enlightened.
Exactly.
Yeah, tell me, by being in this palace itself, being a prince, could you not have achieved that enlightenment? Was it necessary for you to go to the forest? And Buddha said, I'm sorry, I did a mistake. I could have been in this married life and yet led a spiritual life and got the same jnana or enlightenment. It was ratified. So, good catch, Ashwin. I wish more people could come out with more tough questions. You start thinking. Once you start thinking, then we teachers will have to accept the truth. Sometimes we are right, but we are not always right. Sometimes the stories that we give should have a twist. It should have a turn. That means the best of both the worlds is possible, and that is why MBA Yoga Guru. Okay, I just slightly abridged the story. Now you can see that right through, be it Swami Vivekananda's speech in Chicago, or if you take other holy religious text, simply put, the universe has an infinite way of sustaining itself. Even Darwin's theory, the natural selection itself, you see that there is some natural intelligence. There is some way by which the universe is able to hold itself together. All the galaxies, constellations, all the planets, right up to the manufacturing of food by a leaf having chlorophyll. That chlorophyll manufacturing and how. And then you look at the ecosystem, you look at the nature. There's some way by which nature manages. So if you look at the forest, I would say the forest is nothing but a garden created by nature. And if I look at the garden, I'll say it is man-made. The garden is man-made, and sometimes you have to keep pruning it. You have to take care of your garden. But if you look at a forest, who takes care of a forest? The forest is able to purge itself, whereas a garden requires a lot of cleaning. Have you ever wondered, sometimes a forest is, very pristine, very fresh. So who manages? Where is the gardener for a forest? Or where is the forester? Thick, dense jungle, if you have been into one. So nature does have a management principle. And only after seeing nature did man think about economics, sociology, mathematics, science and other things. Looking at nature is when, see, man saw the fish. Okay, he saw something swim on the water. Then he made the boat. So man sees the birds fly. Then he said, why can't I fly? So the management science or science of man is nothing but that which is being prototyped or learnt from what nature has shown us. Don't you think so, my friends? Okay. So when that being the case, what is missing today? We have gone so much into specialization, so much into specialization. And this thought of, creating MBA Yoga Guru came to me when we were facing the COVID tough times. When I discovered that we do have a specialist, specialists who are lung specialists, and the lung specialist told me on a chat, online chat, from across the globe. He was in US, and from there he says, look, I'm a lung specialist. You ask me anything about the lungs, you ask me about the trachea, you ask me about all this stuff, I can tell. Don't ask me about the ventilator. Ventilator is a different department. And at the same time, I had a conversation with another person who takes care of the ventilator, and all that. And when I asked him about the bronchi, or I asked him about, clear a doubt about the lungs, the cell, what is the way in which oxygen goes into the bloodstream, he says, I know about ventilator systems, anything in and out. But don't ask me about the lungs. I don't know. But imagine a situation where these two specialized departments have to handshake to remove out such a big catastrophic thing, a pandemic that's going on. And they had to shake hands to remove. What was happening? Simple doubt I have. We inhale oxygen. Oxygen is being inhaled. I just want to clarify a doubt whether the oxygen that we take from the cylinder is the same as the oxygen that I have in the atmosphere, because nearly 70+% is nitrogen. So do I have that? Do I get that mix? These questions come. So when all these questions come, see, we do need specialization, but in the process of specializing ourselves, we should not lose our foundation, which is the generalization. The power of generalization is much, much more than the specialization. Okay? The Tamil poet or saint come poet, Thiruvalluvar, it's more than 3,000 years, but his couplets have survived invasions, have survived so much of changes, and we still have all his sayings. How come? Just 2 lines. It's the power of generalization. And where he integrates. So what we are doing is, instead of disintegrating, dividing the knowledge into different departments, the universities have to come together. You should have an integration department. And that is seen in MBA also. Those who go into an MBA syllabus, you should know that in the first year, you have a subject which is called as Principles of Management or Introduction to Management. You take that subject has a little bit of every other subject. It has a little HR, it has something on strategy, it has something on marketing, it has something on production, it has something on information technology, ethics, corporate social responsibility, so on and so forth. Again, after 2 trimesters, you have another subject, operations management. That again takes a little bit of everything. And final year, you have strategic management. In strategic management, can I let go anything? The pestle analysis. In a pestle analysis, you do have culture also. You have sociology. So everything is there. So it is something like, let's take a simple word, folks. Let's take economics, economics. It comes from the Greek word, that means mother's kitchen. Anyone who knows how to manage a kitchen has enough capacity to manage a factory. Managing a kitchen, a hotel or a kitchen, and running it, in a very prime way is as good as running a factory. Think about it. You don't have to accept what I'm saying. But then what I felt was these two are not different worlds, and too much of exclusiveness is being given to specialization where we are forgetting our roots, the basis. So that is how MBAyogaGuru was born. That means anyone who's following us, subscribing to us, you follow us or you don't follow us, but if you subscribe to this idea, that means managing your personal and professional life, and then the spirit inside, which means your motivational, your power. I'm not trying to be religious over here. You don't have to be religious. I'm okay with believers or non-believers. Atheists also welcome. Okay? Because even an atheist is thinking. So all we need is, what the world needs today is think tanks, people who can integrate things, people who can create great combos. And I think MBAyogaGuru is one of the greatest combos. If I may quote, pan-India, everyone knows Talevar Rajinikanth. Okay, and this was also a time, the COVID time also, when Rajinikanth was supposed to come into politics, but then he took a decision, and that is a management decision not to come. Okay, to come or not to come. But then he decided. So he did a perfect SWOT, which was not strength, weakness, opportunities or threat, but it was situation and all the W questions, okay, and the options that he had, and T, I would say Mr. Rajinikanth selected truth. Technology was there. Technology, the fans were telling, I was in touch with many of his fans, to Balaji from 234 and all. Everyone were there. They were waiting. They said, Taleva, he has to just say and then we are ready. But then he didn't use technology. He chose truth. He said, no, I'm not coming into politics. That's a management decision. And having said this, I would say that he said that what is lacking in business today, what is lacking in politics today? Ethics. Okay, someone asked me a question, if Baba or religious people are guiding the leaders, how come they are cheating the people? No, some are cheating. But then there is also a good hand. There's not all politicians, all people are not bad. Some are it's like in a classroom. In a classroom, a few people are naughty, 10 or 20 are naughty. It's not the entire class of 90. Right? Just because, few portions of an ocean is dirty doesn't mean the whole ocean becomes wrong, So that is not the way to think in management or in spiritualism. So he made a statement. He said, what is missing today in politics? He said, spiritualism or goodness, integrity is missing. If you subscribe to the idea, you are my G, not oh my God, but you are my G, that means you are an MBAyogaGuru yourself. You're a think tank. You're an asset to this planet. Okay, that's what I want to say. And to top it off, Warren Buffett, absolute, you have a big fan on this side of this part of the world. So what was really great was, selection of candidate, where he said, we look for candidates who have the inspiration, candidates who have the skill, knowledge and energy, right? But he made a statement which really hit very hard. He said, inspiration, energy, knowledge, skill is there with the candidate, but he says, I will look in for one more I, not this I. He said, I for integrity. You know, what is integrity? That is yoga, that is spiritualism, whatever name you call it. That's what, the holy prophet or Jesus or Shankara or Buddha, they all of us, right, into your families, your parents, your ancestors. It is the courage or integration that is needed for leaders and managers. And that is the basis. And then I did have some more, influence also which happened where, other great, management gurus were also there. Okay, the late Professor Bala Balachandar, Professor Radhakrishnan, many other, great people who have influenced. There is a link between these two, management science and spiritualism. There's a huge connect. And this is the similarity besides the differences. You look at the similarities also. And that is how MBA Yoga Guru was born. I hope this answers your question.